What's poppin', y'all? We need to have this French Montana conversation. It gets difficult for me to not defend French Montana, but to still let y'all know how much French Montana has done. I'm not going to say French Montana is a legend. People throw around legend way too much. But French Montana, he's done his thing, okay? He's Mac and Cheese mixtape series. Now, we're going to talk about Mac and Cheese 5 today, which is a different story. But mixtapes, music, French Montana has done it. Also, the album that he released with Harry Fraud, like you guys, people just hate, but man, like Montega, not They Got Amnesia. That was a good album. And it's just, we just see shiesty stuff though with French Montana. And I don't know if this is Bad Boy, because keep in mind, French Montana is Bad Boy. But academics reported this, and it said the following. French Montana Mac and Cheese 5 sells 62K first week. I know we're all spinning our heads around looking like, really? Like one eyebrow raised? Like, really? And then he said, for clarity, even though he sold 62K first week, Billboard only counted about half of those sales because according to Billboard, French and his team broke rules with vinyl sales, so those were discounted. What rules did he break? Because earlier, people were saying that, he was not faking sales, but there's been a lot of chatter around what French Montana has done with streaming and sales. If you guys remember, there was a song that French Montana had Cardi B and Post Malone on years ago. And if you look on Twitter and you sort by, you circle back to when that was going on, type in a couple of keywords, people were talking about it like, why is my Spotify automatically streaming this Cardi B, Post Malone, and French Montana song? Like, why is this randomly happening? And a bunch of people said that this is what happened to them. And this keeps going with pretty much everything he releases. And at a certain point, you got to say, like, okay, how complicit is French Montana? I don't know. I think he just, at this point, okay, let's cover the people that were saying he was scamming his sales, right? So this account, this vinyl account, said boosted sales fraud. French Montana sold vinyl records on his site for $5 pre-orders back in January, with all the albums needing to be shipped on release date to count towards sales. It seems almost everyone that purchased it has had it, quote, delivered to a random address. This seems to be a case of fake shipping confirmations in order to boost sales numbers for the album. French Montana, if someone on your team wishes to comment on this, my DMs are open, but I've received dozens of messages alleging the same. My order was also delivered a few states away, which is odd. Like, are they all going to... Because this is the rules for those that may have forgotten or don't know. For physical album sales to count, they have to be shipped, not purchased. They have to be shipped the week of the release for it to count. So what some will do is they'll do pre-orders. Like, hey, we're going to start in January. We're going to release the album in March. So when we have all these pre-orders in January and February, we have enough units to be able to ship out that week. And this was for Mac and Cheese 5. Someone was saying, I live in Florida, and their product got delivered in L.A., and they got a confirmation for it. Someone said, I ordered mine in Georgia, and it got delivered to L.A., which I think the most interesting part about this is there are this many people that are buying French Montana vinyls, which it's more than I thought. Somebody said, I live in Massachusetts. This thing says delivered Brooklyn. This person says delivered California, but was, mine got shipped to Texas. And yeah, he was supposed to sell 32K at that point. And 21,000 were pure sales, which were probably coming from here, which still shocks me. They had updated it. So French Montana replies to all of this in the DMs with that guy. And he says, hey, what's your number? My team going to get in contact with you today and personally make sure it gets to you. Sorry about that. And then this guy said, I'm not tripping about mine. It's $5. It's just helping everyone out. He says, I see people are getting refunded. Is that going to be everybody? I'll put a statement out if you let me know what's going to happen. He said, of course, any orders that were messed up will be refunded. My team is working overtime to make sure this is handled. I love my fans. I hate when stuff like this happens. So this person got refunded. Now, keep in mind, this person is New Zealand. It says NZD. So that's looks like New Zealand dollars. So that wouldn't have even counted towards the sales because it's out of this country. Which... No, some people were saying Texas and Florida. I was going to say, well, if they're delivering it in the U.S., and these people are out of the country, maybe that would boost it up. But if he was selling 62K, you're telling me that, let's say 40,000, there are 40,000 people that are going to buy a French Montana vinyl without like any promotion? It's just unreal. Because the vinyl record, I think, was Tyler the Creator that broke it? Somebody, they were selling like 90,000 vinyls in a week. So if French Montana is even doing a fifth of what whoever that artist was, whether it be Tyler the Creator or anybody, that's still very surprising. And then he had the whole Mac and Cheese 5 Deluxe, which is like 125 tracks. Like, he just released like 5-6 different albums, pretty much doing any and everything to get as much attention on this project as possible. And this is where I have to ask, are these like numbers games part of the rollout for French Montana albums? Because if he just rolled it out and there wasn't such a disparity in what we believe French Montana should sell and what he ends up selling, I don't even think a lot of us would hear about the album if we weren't like fans of French Montana or followed him very closely. Because while French Montana is a very famous figure, he doesn't have like a lot of pull or clout on social media that he can just command on his own. Like, for example, like Tyler the Creator, he's got pull. He can command on his own. He just says something and it'll spread if it's like a message of a music release, something like that, any project that he has to put out. French Montana doesn't really have that. And that's fine. It's not a knock to him. I just want to know how this looks in the back end. And how did he fake these sales? Or not fake sales. They said he broke the vinyl rules. Can we get some details on that? Like, what rules did he break? And this is where I'm asking. So if they fulfilled all these orders and they delivered all these orders and they're going to refund all of these orders and they're selling vinyls for $5, which that's what one of the people was saying, $5 for a vinyl? Yeah, this guy autographed CD times 2, number 2. Oh no, that was $17. Okay, shipping $32. That's out of the country. Makes sense. Yeah, I'm just looking at all of this like, damn, why is this always attached to French Montana's name? And we know these numbers aren't real. Like, Schoolboy Q, who's an artist that hasn't released in years, whose last project people listened to and did better than French Montana's project. As a whole, he has more fans of his music that are anticipating for him to release than French Montana. We can agree on that, right? Schoolboy Q versus French Montana. We're just being fair here. Not like smash hits, but we're talking like actual music that they really, really, really want to consume. Yet, Schoolboy Q just did like 30-something K. Now, keep in mind, these numbers don't even really matter. Most of this stuff is just fake, which is why I don't talk about it as much. Like, I can't just sit here and look at you or look at my microphone and speak to you directly and pretend to care about some numbers that are largely just fake now, as if it's a representation of anything. But Schoolboy Q, let's say he just sold 32K. You're going to tell me that French Montana, someone who's objectively less popular musically, is going to do twice that much? It's just not happening. And not in the first week. I heard that this album was coming out. So it didn't completely go like fly over my head or go under the radar. But what are the expenses on this album, especially to like ship this stuff and then refund people? How many people actually bought? We need to start seeing back ends. I know Academics has the answers to this. I really wonder if he's going to like reveal it, but I think he's like cool with French Montana, so he might not just like out it unless they have issues. But I just want to know for myself, like, who did these albums go to? Why did they ship to the wrong place? There's no way you have a mass, like, you just got morons. No, the job is moron proof. You just put stickers on it. So how are people getting the wrong orders? Or are the orders even going to a place that was put on as a shipping address? Like, we need answers. And people getting refunded is not the answer. Like, sure, you're compensating that individual, but you're not answering the deeper question, which is, how did you supposedly have 62K? Because that doesn't add up in any dimension. And what happened with these vinyls? Why did they end up at the wrong addresses? These are the questions that need answers. And I would say I won't rest until I get those answers, but I'm not that invested in this, come on. And neither are you. But it would be nice to have those answers. And that's pretty much all I've got to say on this topic. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.